So, welcome, Ray Benjamin. How does the Department of Streets and Facilities evaluate storms, and how do you prepare for the season?
Well, late October and early November, we start pulling trucks off the road as we finish up construction projects and start getting our spreaders fitted into them. We bought, they used to always have to take the old truck bodies off and put the new spreaders on, but we bought a little more higher horsepower trucks that we can put the spreader boxes right in the back of the dump boxes. That saves some time there, but you have to go through the hydraulic systems and make sure they're all cleaned out, and because the spreaders run on hydraulics. They have hydraulic motors in the back, and they run the conveyor in the bottom of the hoppers. And
you're talking about spreading ice melt or salt in our...
We use rock salt. We don't... Ice melt is a separate product, and that's used in places like on the commons or where they don't want anything to track in on the floors.
I see.
That's quite a bit more expensive, and you buy that by the bag. We get our salt from right up here at Cargill Salt, where we get it off the state bid, and we have it delivered down here.
Mm-hmm.
We use approximately... Well, we order about 2,400 tons a year. And that's the way it works out on average. Sometimes our bins are empty at the end of the year, sometimes they're full. But that's pretty close average.
I see. And do you ever run out completely and need to order more, or?
Well, we order periodically throughout the year. We just got a new salt storage facility here about 2 years ago. And this one will hold 3,000 tons. So it should hold a whole winter's work. But we also get treated salt that we try to keep on hand, and that's treated with magnesium chloride, which helps it activate in colder weather, and that's good down to below zero.
I see.
Regular rock salt will just lay on the ground at 9 degrees or thereabouts. So the colder it gets, the slower it works,
right.
Unless you use the treated stuff.
And that does happen sometimes in Ithaca.
It does happen. Tell
me, so you guys, what is your territory that you cover?
Well, we have everything inside the City of Ithaca. We have approximately 70 miles worth of streets. We also do some of the state arterials. We're paid to cover their roadways within our boundaries, like Route 13, Route 79, or Green Street, Seneca Street, or our state part of the state arterial system, and they pay us to maintain them for the winter maintenance. It's part of an agreement we have. We fill the potholes, and we do day-to-day maintenance on it. We don't do the repaving of them. That's left to the state to do.
And you mentioned potholes. That's, I guess, one of the major challenges. You do that all winter long.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We haven't been able to do as much paving because of budget cuts and things like that. So some places the pavement, it's just wearing out. And we do get potholes. The heavy bus traffic doesn't help us any, because when these roads were all built, they didn't see the loads that we see today or the frequency of them. And sometimes the pavement sections aren't adequate to hold those loads.
Right.
And we wear the roads out quicker, and the buses will run on different streets than what we just hold truck traffic to. So sometimes they're running down streets that may only be stone and oil. Until you get a good frost underneath them, there's not a lot of support there. The roads are most tender in the spring when the frost is going out, and in the fall when the ground is saturated, and before it's froze solid.
So does it take an experienced truck driver and plow driver to know how to be gentle on the roads or to avoid creating problems?
Well, it does take a lot of experience in the trucks, especially the larger trucks, because when you're sitting up in the cab, there's a lot you cannot see, but there's a lot you have to miss. I mean, I went to the highway school up here that Ithaca College has every June, and I've seen drivers from all across the state come down here, and they converge on us the first weekend in June. And they drive around town, and I've talked to some of the guys, and they can't believe, they don't know how we can plow some of these streets. Most of our streets are, 14% and greater. And a lot of municipalities and places won't adopt a street that's over 10 or 12% in grade because they think it's too steep.
You're talking about the hills.
That's about the hills. And then the streets are narrow. We've got cars parked on both sides. It makes it very difficult for the plow trucks to get through. There's some hills, like South Hill, we only use a 1-ton truck because that's the only thing that'll fit down in a lot of places.
Right. And the alternate side parking, that does allow you a certain period for getting plows through on each side?
Yeah, that's between 2 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning. That's a 4-hour stretch to try to cover 70 miles with only 3 or 4 trucks.
Right.
We don't ever get through that far. And all it takes is 1 or 2 people not moving their vehicles, and we can't get down places. We can't stay along the curb to clear out all the way out.
Well, we're talking to Ray Benjamin, Assistant Superintendent of Streets and Facilities. How does this year look to you?
Well, I think it's going to be a lot of snow here. I don't think it'll be as bad as last year. We usually get things come around in cycles, and last year was definitely an extreme year. So I expect this year ought to be a little bit easier in that respect, but it's hard to tell. A lot of times we are very lucky here because most of the snow will come across and it runs through Pennsylvania, then comes up the east side of Binghamton, and we missed that one. And then the snow patterns around here, a lot of it rolls just north of us, as close as Lansing and north. So we seem to be tucked away in a little hole, and we're protected, and we have the lake out here that keeps the lower portions anyway, the flats. We'll be just getting light rain, where hilltops will be getting snow.
Right. How do you watch the weather on a day-to-day basis throughout the winter?
Well, most of our guys, my street supervisor, and I did it, the first thing you do when you come in the morning is you pull it up and you look at the radar and you see where it's at. We know what different towns east of us or to the west of us, when they're getting it, you get an idea of if you're going to see it or not, or if it's going to try to roll around you. I mean, we expect it. It's usually just a matter of what time we're going to see it and if you're going to have enough people on to go with it.
Right.
If you're not going to get snow until mid-afternoon or in the middle of the day, you don't want everybody sitting in the trucks waiting for it, so you try to get something else accomplished in that period of time. But as soon as it starts to show up, you have to pull everybody in and, switch up.
I can see that can be complicated. And what about scheduling folks during the day versus, say, a storm comes through the middle of the night?
Well, we run a snow watch in the wintertime from the week before Thanksgiving. We just started here Sunday. We'll run it till about April 1st. We'll take guys that'll volunteer, or at least senior guys, and we'll have them work the night shift. And they work from 7 p.m. till 3:30 in the morning. And if there's snow coming down at that time, they will hold over till 7 a.m. in the morning, and then the day crew will pick up and work from 7 a.m. in the morning till 3:30 at night, or if they have to, they'll go till 7 o'clock at night. That gives us 24/7 coverage.
And say you get a really big storm, do you have the flexibility to move people from one shift to the other? Or?
Well, we do. The night watch, snow watch, we usually run 6 people. That's ideal because when we can put a truck on each hill, have one roving truck and one on the flats, we can cover a lot of ground because there's a lot less traffic. They're much more efficient. During the day, when we have to fight traffic in a heavy storm, we try to put 2 trucks on each hill, one large one and one small one. The big trucks can't clean up cul-de-sacs, and there's some places like Cascadilla Park Road, you can't even get a big truck down it.
Oh, sure.
You can't do it during, in good conditions, let alone snow conditions. And all these hills, these guys, we try to, when the snow comes, we will concentrate on keeping the main roads open so we can get people through town and in and out of town. So we keep the state routes, the main roads open. And then as the storm lets up, we back up and start catching up on the residential streets.
And how is your fleet of trucks looking this year?
Well, we've delayed replacement of a lot of trucks over the years because of the budget situation. We do have 3 new small trucks, 1.5-ton trucks that they never get a break. I mean, they're the foreman's truck that carried all the tools all summer long, and in the wintertime we load them up with 3 tons of salt and then push snow with them, and it's hard on the truck.
Mm-hmm. And how about
we've
drivers?
Gotten a little bit heavier as we go. Pardon me?
How about the drivers?
Well, right now we've only got 3 people on the night snow watch. I'm looking to hire 5 more people this week, just because we've had openings from people retiring. Sometimes we have to shift personnel so we can keep things moving, but difficult.
Well, I know that it's your job, Ray, but what else does winter mean to you? Do you get out and ski or do anything like that?
Well, when I get time off, I heat with wood. I've got a small farm, and I've got chores there that have to be done, but it's usually cutting firewood for the season.
That's a nice thing to do out in snow.
It's nice to get you out because there's no telephones out there.
Right.
It gives you a chance to unwind. Yeah.
Yeah, I love splitting wood too. All right, Assistant Superintendent of Streets and Facilities, Ray Benjamin. Thanks for talking with us on WRFI Community Radio News.
You're welcome. Talk to you later.
Okay.